Why am I sat miles away from a TV? Well, it's so I can video the Wheel Stand Pro, and this video is about the Wheel Stand Pro, a sort of active drive into a wall whilst getting pummeled by AI in X car game video about the Wheel Stand Pro. Blue guy is mental. Now, I've had the Wheel Stand Pro for about 2 weeks now, and I'm actually really surprised as to its quality and how much better it is than just sticking your wheel on a table. Now, obviously, a full-on sim rig is going to be a better solution, but if you're like me for the past 5 years, just tended to stick your steering wheel onto a desk and your pedals on the floor, then the Wheel Stand Pro, and presumably others like it, are a really nice option, and it's not something. It's far better than I would have initially considered this sort of device would be. One of the most noticeable things with this is just having it so that your pedals and steering wheel are in exactly the same place every time you come to doing your racing. If you normally stick your wheel on the table, you'll find that your wheel and pedals are not always in the same place. So it's a really subtle thing, but there's a degree of comfort that comes with having everything exactly the same every time you approach it. Now, in terms of sturdiness, it's actually really solid. I'd say it's more solid than my table, but mind you, my table is a homemade IKEA table using IKEA legs stuck on a big plank of wood. But even if you had a pretty solid table, I think this will probably beat it unless you have some like medieval oak table to stick your sim wheel on. I don't know why you'd do that. There's probably one person doing it though. But as you can see here, it's not really wobbling too much. I'm sure if you put a servo wheel on it, and if you do go crazy with it, it does start to move. But for most operation of driving, and if you drive smooth, which is probably what you should be doing most of the time, it doesn't wobble in a way that puts you off your driving. And especially if you drive console games, especially, and you're playing on a sofa, this is way above good enough stability for that sort of sim racing. Now, one thing that did happen at first was when I got when you get vibrations, really fast vibrations from the G25, say a good example is in a set of course when you lock the brakes up or you understeering off the front wheels vibrate, which causes the steering to vibrate. That can cause this to oscillate a bit. I found if you just lock it all down, make sure it's all tightened down, all the G25 buttons, all the clamps that are bit onto it are all tied down, that it stops it from vibrating and fixes that issue. But other than that, it's really nice. One other thing I did that I found worked well was I've got a little plank of wood that I rest the back of it on. I'm not sure if you'll see it in the video, but I lift it up and I have it so it's actually at this angle. I put it flat on the floor now, but I found that far more comfortable because unfortunately there's no way that I'm aware of for you to tilt the pedals up. They sort of rest flat on this plate. So I found tilting the whole thing worked really well. Obviously that compromised a bit of the stability, but it's still way more than solid enough for what I need if I have it tilted on a plank of wood like that. And these rubber floors, if you're playing on this on a, well, it works fine on a carpet, it's not moving, it's not going anywhere. But if you've got a solid floor, again, I don't think a G25 or G27 would be usable on a solid floor because you're going to be moving all over the place. This will just stay absolutely solid. It's reasonably heavy. I'd say it weighs about 15 kilograms or so with the G25 on it, so it's not moving anywhere, and the foot stands are made out of really nice solid rubber. Give you an example of how heavy it is. I'd probably pick it up with one hand. Let's see. Yeah, just about pick it up with one hand. I'm not exactly the strongest. I might have some GamerMuscle, but not that much. Need a couple of years with a servo wheel to build up the arm muscles there. But it's heavy enough to stay steady, but light enough that if you use two hands, you can pick it up and move it and put it in the corner. And one thing that I've been doing that I found worked really well is I leave the G25 power plugged into the wall, not the brick, but I leave when it comes to going off on one, when it comes to taking the wheel away, I unplug this, so leave the power cable in the wall, it's effectively doing nothing, and keep the brick with the pedals, and then unplug the USB, which is just going off over here. Got a cable tied down here. Unplug the USB and then wrap it around the gear stick, and then I can just put this in a corner of the room, and that way it's really easy to just take it out, plug it in when I want to use it, and put it away when I don't want to use it. Whereas before, when I had just the G25 on the table, I'd leave the pedals under the table, which would get in the way quite a lot of the time, and then I'd put my wheel by the side of the table, and I'd lift it up and put it on the table. I think this is a far better solution. So before getting this, I don't think I would have bothered with one, but now, having used it for 2 weeks, I think I'd have to actually have one. I'd either get this or a sim rig now. I find it very hard going back to just sticking the wheel on the table, to be honest. And then one of the other advantages of something like this is that, aside from the basic adjustability and it being a single unit, when it comes to upgrading your wheel, you can stick a T500 on this. I think it works with the plate that comes with this. You might need a different plate for Fanatec wheels, but when it comes to upgrading your wheel, you can just stick it on. And wheels like the T500 are a real chore to keep sticking on your table and taking off, so attaching them to something like this would be ideal. I think that's pretty much covers just about everything there is. Let's look at the adjustability of it a bit for the video. It's got these clips on it that are really simple, so you want to adjust the height. The tilt of it is done with a screw, a bolt and an Allen key that you get with it when you get it, so it's really easy to adjust the tilt. I've got them in the cupboard at the moment, so I'm not going to do that now. But in terms of the height, it's just got a quick release mechanism. You can pop that on, move it to the height that you want instantaneously. For some reason, if you wanted to rotate it, you could as well. I don't know why you want to. But you can set that, and once it's locked in, it's not going anywhere. It's pretty simple to push down, and then you've got rotation of this bottom part, and you can control its angle with that as well, which is really nice. But it's dead simple, and it basically just does the job. So if you're currently sim racing with a wheel on your desk and you want a nice neat solution, Wheel Stand Pro is a good option. I'll give it a GamerMuscle thumbs up. I haven't used any of the others on the market, so it'd be worth checking out different ones that are available, seeing which ones are going for a good price. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with this Wheel Stand Pro. I think that's about it, really. Check out the review as well. This video, I'm sure it was thrilling. It's probably only really useful for people that were looking at getting some kind of wheel stand. But there you go, the Wheel Stand Pro in next car game and its features. Goodbye.